Well, good evening, everybody. It looks like I've been talking away like a good one there, and nothing has been going on. Thanks, Tim, for dropping a note in. So I'm just going to move back here on these slides, and we're going to start again. Looks like I've been talking away like a good one. Yeah, sorry about that. Obviously didn't press the right buttons at the right time. We'll have another go. So good evening, everybody. Evening, Tim. Thanks for pointing that out. Welcome. Evening, Colin. So welcome to Friday Night Live from the Cloudy Sky Fantasy Football Show as we enter Game Week 29, the Spring Double. And this is the last proper double game week of the Cloud Fantasy Football season. There will be more to come where teams will play twice, but this should be the last week where, as I've said, it's a full twin set of fixtures. So I think it should be the last game week where everybody plays twice. So without further ado, I'll run through the It's all caught me off guard now. So we're going to run through points from last week and an admission of fault as to what's gone on with my team. We'll have a look at the match centres. We'll have a look at the leaderboard. We've got some confirmed fixtures for Cloud Game Week 31. Transfers. Teams of the game weeks. We'll have a look at the double game week fixtures, goals and clean sheets for this weekend. We'll have a look at the stats, my plan, and then we'll let everybody get off and watch tonight's game. So evening Tim, evening Colin, evening FPL Sparta. Apologies for the late stream. I've been jabbering away for 20 minutes and getting nowhere. So let's have a look at the team. You can see there, Ruffs in goal, 1 point, Gehi 2, Munoz 10, Saliba 3, Gabriel 6 as captain. And this is where on Sunday I wasn't paying as much attention to my team as I should have been. I was too busy making moves for Telegraph Fantasy Football just for the 2 o'clock deadline. And I didn't check back to Cloud. I said this time last week I was going to make Munoz captain, and what did I do? It ended up still sitting on Gabriel, so that cost me instead of 10 points doubled, I got 3 points doubled, and those 7 point difference was enough to cost me 10 places in the league. As you can see, I've dropped down to 74th now, so up and down like a strumpets, 90 through the 60s and 70s. This is a case where I've been back to the 70s again. Could have been up to 64th. In the middle of the park, much ado about nothing. Rice 3 points, Rogers 2, Semenyo 6, and Fernandez in a very drab Monday Night Football as captain for 2 points. Haaland Saturday captain for 6, doubled up to 12, and Thiago with a regulation 2 every time that I've been playing him this season. So let's have a look at the match centres. So Villa and Leeds was the first game. Leeds won, Villa won, or Villa won, Leeds won. Stack with the goal and Abraham with the equaliser. Tier 3 is just Ampadu with the tackles for Leeds. Brentford 0, Brighton 2. Goal scorers were Gomez and Welbeck for Brighton. Kelleher with the Tier 3 saves for Brentford. Chelsea won, Burnley won. Chelsea led for most of the game through João Pedro. Zach Fleming equalising near the end. 1-1. Tier 3's just Santos and Caicedo with the passes for Chelsea. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0. Hermansen with the saves. Fernandez with the tackles with the Tier 3's for West Ham. Saturday night game was Manchester City 2, Newcastle 1. O'Reilly with both goals for a 16-pointer. Lewis Hall with the equaliser at the time for Newcastle. Tier 3s for both goalkeepers, and then Rodri and Semenyo with the tackles for City. Palace 1, Wolves 0. Gassand with a goal off the bench. Tier 3s for Henderson with the saves, also a penalty save and a clean sheet for a 16-pointer for anybody that's still got him. Munoz with the tackles, taking him up to the aforementioned 10. And for Wolves, Hugo Bueno, Bellegarde, Arakadari, who missed the penalty. At least one of those was a shot on target to get him to 3. Then the Sunday games. Forest 0, Liverpool 1. McAllister with his second winner of the match. This one was marginally given as a goal rather than offside, as compared to the one that was handball off his elbow. Only tier 3s was Sangari with the tackles for Forest. Sunderland 1, Fulham 3. Goal scorers were Lafay with the penalty, Jimenez with a goal and a penalty, and then Iwobi. Tete with the only tier 3 there with 5 tackles. Tottenham 1, Arsenal 4. Eze with two goals for Arsenal, and then Gyökeres with 2 more. Kolo Muani with 1 for Tottenham, could have had a second without that being given a foul. Tier 3s, Palina and Sarr with the tackles, and Hincapié and Mosquera with the tackles. Mosquera off the bench in the 57th minute. And then Monday Night Football in a very drab game. Terrible stuff. I watched some rubbish over the weekend. Twickenham, England v Ireland wasn't very good. The first innings of England v Sri Lanka wasn't very good. All of Nottingham Forest v Liverpool wasn't very good. And this Everton v Man United took the biscuit. It was absolutely awful. As many scrums and line-outs for the corners as they saw at Twickenham. Sesko with a goal. I wonder if he'll be starting this week. So let's have a look at the leaderboard. So in 10th place, Tony Davis, 2176. 9th, Adam Byron, 2177. 8th, Dean Hicks, 2180. 7th, Tony Richardson, 2181. 6th, Alex, 2186. 5th, Gary Carter, 2193. 4th, Aaron Smith, 2201. And then top 3, Johnny Curry with his JC Milan, 2202. 1 point ahead of him is Tim Barry in the chat. Can I Just Shock You, 2203. And then top of the shop with a 25-point lead is Ryan Welsh, 2228. And I'm just going to nip back to the match centre, because if I stick this onto 29, we should get the lineups for Wolves v Villa live and ready to go. So Wolves are Sarr, Totti Gomez, Bueno, Mosquera, Hugo Bueno, Andre, João Gomez, Chachachua, Mane, Bellegarde and Armstrong. And Villa are Martinez, Dean, Torres, Konza, Cash, Douglas Luiz and Onana, Buendia, Rogers, Sancho and Watkins. And I imagine he'll be fairly highly captained. Can I find the ownership? Yeah, we probably can. So if I have a look here at Aston Villa. Yeah, 51% owned is Rogers. 7.4 is Watkins. 3.7 Cash and Konza. If I have a look at Wolves, it's not going to be very high at all, I imagine. Highest owned player is Arias, who's no longer playing and is in only 1.5% of teams. So evening to Bert and Craig in the chat. Craig says, evening all, we all on Rogers cap. I imagine so, Craig. I definitely am, and it will be his farewell appearance in my team. Right, let's have a look at what was confirmed today. So we had the Champions League draw today, and it has had a confirming effect on Game Week 31 in Cloud. In the top, highlighted there in red, is what was originally scheduled. So we had West Ham v Man City at 12:30, Chelsea v Newcastle at 5:30, Arsenal v Everton at 2 o'clock on Sunday, Liverpool Tottenham at 4:30 on Sunday. Changes to that are West Ham v Man City has now been moved back to 8 o'clock on the Saturday, and Arsenal has been brought forward from 2 o'clock Sunday to 5:30 on Saturday. It is going to share the Sky slot with Chelsea v Newcastle. So they've got a sort of a Super Saturday tea time special with 2 fixtures to show. And it's also Super Saturday in the Six Nations the same day, so quite apt, really. And the other game that's moved, we thought it would do, Crystal Palace qualified for the last 16 of the Conference League, so their match against Leeds has been shifted to Sunday, 2 o'clock. So let's have a look at the transfer counts. So overall, top 10, 15.5, are very similar to last week. Top 50, 17.3. Top 100, 18.3. They've both come in about 1.5 points. Overall, still hanging around about 30. Teams of the week. So on the left-hand side here, we've got team of the last game week. So the one that's just gone, game week 28. Henderson in goal, no surprise, with a clean sheet and a penalty save, 16 points. This is actually the highest scoring player of the week. So yeah, joint with Eze, I think, and O'Reilly. So at the back four, Munoz, Virgil, Hall and Mitchell. In the middle of the park, Eze and O'Reilly, aforementioned, Iwobi and McAllister. Up front, Gyökeres and Raul. And then for the last 6 game weeks, Petrovic has been the best goalkeeper, 31 points. Virgil, Jimenez and Hincapié at the back, 38, 32 and 29 respectively. Middle of the park, Palmer, Semenyo, O'Reilly and Somerville, 41, 41, 36 and 35. And up front, Gyökeres, Raul and João Pedro, 39, 36 and 36. All reasonably pickable. Jimenez and Somerville will be cheaper than others. O'Reilly, if he was a defender, how many points would he have scored there? Okay. So let's have a look at... This is from Solio Analytics. This is their top teams to target for FPL game weeks 28 to 31. So we're really looking at here for this upcoming double in Cloud, FPL game weeks 28 and 29. And you can see the fixtures we've got on the right-hand side. So is there some hop-off and hop-ons for these teams? So I think quite a few will be taking Villa players out after today, those that have got them. So where are we looking? So top projected goal scorers are Liverpool, Manchester United, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Manchester City, even though they've not got a game in Cloud in game week, FPL 31, I think it might be 33 or something in Cloud. I can't remember all of the numbers. We'll see when we get onto the planner. Fulham are up there as well, Brentford, Villa, Chelsea and Arsenal. And for clean sheets, we're looking at Liverpool, Arsenal, Fulham again, surprisingly high, but a lot of that is based on their fixture against Burnley in the EFL Cup game week, EFL Cup final game week. Brentford, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Man City, Man United and Aston Villa. So it's the same teams at the top of both tickers. So it'd be interesting to have a look when we get to the fixture to see who's deemed to do best. I'm moving Rodgers on. We'll see when we get to the plan as to exactly where he goes. And we had a question from John, who asked, Is it best to make use of 2 for zeros now, or wait for the April fixtures to see where the fixtures lay then and then make a plan? So I've got on the screen now, these are the confirmed matches up until the international break at the end of March. April fixtures should be out in about a week's time. So by the time we reach the end of this double, then we head into the FA Cup weekend, followed by European midweeks. We will know the April layout by then. I think there's only 3 weekends in April. We don't get back till about April 11th, I think, for the first Premier League round in April. And there's definitely offs coming now for Arsenal after Saturday the 14th. They've already had their extra game. The other offs are Man City and Palace. Their extra game is going to be coming up, but probably later on in April or even into May. When we get to next week, we'll have a better plan. So when we do the next show ahead of the Game Week 31, we will know more about the April layout. And looking at how people have their teams set now, I think apart from moving off Villa and possibly moving on to Tottenham or Palace on Thursday for the single, which might be more interesting now. Tottenham have got a new manager and Palace are bobbling about a bit. If you haven't got one, you can make your decision then. You don't need to bring anybody in for Tottenham away to Fulham on Saturday. No, they're playing Sunday, aren't they? Playing Sunday, Tottenham v Fulham, and Palace v Manchester United is also Sunday. You don't need to bring anybody in for that day. You can wait till Thursday itself and get your off from there. So to answer your question, John, I think I would be, if you've got a plan now in place, carry it on. If not, I'd be waiting for next week to look at the April fixtures and then going from there. Hope that helps. So this is again from Rob T. Solio. This is their clean sheet and goals scored predictions for this week. We've got tonight Wolves 1.09 and 20%, Villa 1.6 and 34%. So it looks 2-1 Villa win possibly. And then tomorrow, it's Bournemouth v Sunderland, the early kickoff tomorrow. My goodness. 1.76 and 33% for Bournemouth. Sunderland 1.1 and 17. Burnley 1.05 and Brentford 1.75. Burnley 17% and 35%. If Burnley are expected to score, in fact, it looks like everybody's expected to score. That everybody's goals are over 1 for this week. So clean sheets are going to be at a premium by the looks of it. Newcastle 1.79, Everton 1.09, Newcastle 34%, Everton 17. Liverpool 2.39 and 35%. That's the biggest margin of the week by the looks of it. West Ham 1.06, but apparently they put up 3 XG against Brentford last week and couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Was it Brentford? No, it was Bournemouth, sorry. 9% chance for clean sheet for West Ham. Leeds, this is Saturday tea time, 1.08 and 14%. Man City 1.98 and 34%. Sunday, Brighton against Forest. Forest on the back of just scraping into the Europa League last 16. 1.57 for Brighton, 30%. Forest 1.21 and 21%. Manchester United 2.02 and 36% against Palace 1.03 and 13%. Fulham 1.62 and 28%. Tottenham 1.27 and 20%. And then Arsenal against Chelsea in Super Sunday. 4:30, 1.91 Arsenal 36%. Chelsea 1.03 and 15%. So, and this is going to go against what my plan is to do for the weekend. It doesn't look like clean sheets are going to be at a premium. And here's me thinking of bringing in a defender. Right, let's have a look at some stats. So this is points, overall points. So Haaland still well clear at the top, 228. Semenyo in second, 173. Thiago in third, 166. And then next best in is Enzo still, 154 down to Donnarumma, who's into the top 25 now at 130. This is points per 90. So Haaland well at the top, 9.17. We're looking here for the guys that are sticking up above the eye line. So Gabriel at 6.93. Mateus Nunes, 6.53. Bruno G, 6.33. Could be useful when he comes back. Ruben Diaz, 6.79. I'm pleased to see Harry Wilson in there at 6.12. Another one a bit further down is Mbeumo at 6.39. I'm wondering how many are on Bruno Fernandes that wish we were on Mbeumo at the minute. And looking a bit further ahead, I think into those April fixtures we were discussing, I think Manchester United might have another single game day against Leeds. Tier points, Elliot Anderson breaking a bit further clear, 10% ahead of Enzo now, who's just ahead of Van Heck and Rice. Garner, Virgil, Dunk and Caicedo are the rest above 50 there. Let's move this along a bit. So the ownership table, quite a few changes here. So Haaland no longer at the top of the shop. Gabriel leading the way in the top 100 at 93%. Bruno Fernandes 91, Erling Haaland 89. Morgan Rogers 84, so those at the top 100 are definitely captaining him tonight. Craig, there's your answer. Timber 83, Thiago 76, Reyes 70, Semenyo 68. This looks quite tighter now than when we did this last time round. I have a feeling that these was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these top 8 there. And if they're 68% owned in the top 100, you're not making many moves with all of those, that's for sure. Next in is Chalobah, who's been booted out by a few alongside Rice, Enzo. They're on the way out as well. Gahey's on his way in along with Munoz. I think Virgil's on his way in as well. Saliba's hanging around. Ekitike is going to be popular coming up. And then we've got Nunes, Szoboszlai, Rufs, Sarr, Wilson, and Dye, Palmer, Salah, and Strand Larsen. Those, if Salah gets on a bit of a run, I think that ownership would go blasting up. Maybe that's why Haaland's come down a bit. We shall see. And this is how they're stacking up points-wise. Yeah, a bit more of a topsy-turvy graph there. And we'll have a look at the passes. So this is all players passes per 90. Rodri and Tosin, the only two in the green. In the orange we have Curtis Jones, Dunk, Saliba, Virgil, Ruben Diaz, Chalobah and Nico Gonzalez. In the shots, nobody even in the orange now. Haaland down to 1.9 shots per 90. At the top end of the field with Sesko at 1.9 as well. Tackles. We've got 4 in the orange. Palhinha, Ugarte, Florentino and Iragbunum. Quite a few in the yellow. And then in the saves, again, nobody in the orange or green. A few in the yellow, and a few of these aren't even playing. So those that are Dubravka, Pope, Petrovic, Martinez, Rufs and Hermansen. So as soon as we were delayed, keep it short and sweet so everybody get ready to go off and watch the Villa game. Apologies again. We'll have a quick look at my plan. So tonight I have Rodgers captain. Tomorrow 2 moves, and I'm moving out Declan Rice And it might seem strange to move him out before Arsenal play, but you've got to remember Arsenal have already played their extra fixture. It was against Wolves 2 midweeks ago. And then Rodgers is going to Harry Wilson, who has got 4 enticing fixtures coming up. And if he performs well, he can keep his place in the side. So I'm going to be bringing him in for Rodgers on Saturday. Captaincy is going to be Haaland Saturday, Bruno Fernandes on Sunday. Sneak into next week. I've got Virgil, and the reason why I'm bringing Virgil in for Rice, the original plan was to go for Ekitike, but I think I want to captain Virgil on Tuesday at Wolves. I would captain Ekitike, but there is a chance that he might not play. So my plan for Ekitike or another Liverpool or different player now is to bring them in for probably Saliba, possibly Gabriel, when that extra game is played on the 15th of March now. So Tuesday I think will be Virgil captain. Wednesday, Haaland captain. Thursday, Munoz captain. And this is the week where we've got the different fixtures. So there is my current plan, is to bring Ekitike in on Sunday the 15th for Saliba. We'll 3 games to scope what's going on, but that is the current plan. Right, sorry, short and show this week. Obviously, still mastering pressing the buttons. Should be knowing what I'm doing after all this time, really. But thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the football over the weekend and in midweek. And then we will be back ahead of the following game week, the week after that. All right. If you've enjoyed your watch, please give the video a like. If you want to use the transfer planner utilised, you can find that over on Patreon, patreon.com, Cloud Sky Fantasy Football Show. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the football, and we'll see you soon. Take care.